Welcome to Who Let the Dogs Out, the podcast designed to help you enjoy life with your best friend without all the frustrations. Join us each week as we help families across the country do just that. I'm your host, Corey, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Sally.
And what are we talking about today, Sal?
I've got 3 different questions.
All right, what's
one
the gist
about
of them?
Teaching tricks,
Okay.
equipment, and one is something about respect.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so if you want to learn about tricks, equipment, and I guess teaching your dog about respect or whatnot, then stick with us till the end. For those of you that are new, that don't know us, my name's Corey. I'm the owner and founder of Wonder Dog Training. We started the first day of January in 2018, so we've been around a little over 7 years. We've helped thousands of families with their dogs. So that's who I am. That's what I do, and this is...
I'm Sally. I've worked for Wonder Dog coming up 6 years.
Yep, it's May, right? May is 6 years? Or is it April?
April,
6 years.
April,
Gotcha.
yeah. And I do a lot of the stuff in the background,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's who we are for those of you that don't know us. Today, we're doing a Q&A like Sally said. Those are fun because you guys ask the questions. I don't know what the questions are until we actually get on the show and she asks them live. So, those are fun, though, because you guys ask the questions, we give you the answers. So if you're interested in asking a question, you can reach out to me at Corey from Wonder Dog on Instagram, or you can reach out to Sally.
Sally at wonderdogtraining.com.
Yep. So if you want to ask a question, or you can leave them comment below and we can answer them from the comments as well. So that's that. We've also got Dog Talk, which I think was our last episode that we did. And Dog Talk is fun because we come on and talk about a topic related to dogs, dog ownership, dog training. Speaking of, if you missed the last episode, go check that one out. It's about everything you need to know for like puppies, like A to Z. It's amazing. It's got a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah.
It'd be really helpful if you're getting a new dog, you got a puppy, you got a rescue dog, something like that. It's really helpful. So anyways, that being said, go check that out if you missed that one. And then we've also got some interviews coming up down the line. Different formats. We're just working on growing the show, and then we're going to do a lot more fun stuff with it. So anyways,
if you've got any ideas that you want us to do and cover, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know who you want us to talk to and stuff, and we'll definitely do that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for that. In terms of the subscriber board, we've been doing pull out the board. We've got a subscriber board to help us with our goal. So give me 1 second. Let me grab my marker and I will fill in from where we're at from the last episode to this episode. So.
Oh my gosh. So that means we've got new subscribers.
We did. We gained a total of 2 week over week.
Do you know what? We'll take it.
We will.
That's 2 more than last time.
I've been saying, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Absolutely.
With like anything online, you start, it's like it's going slow, and then it just picks up all of a sudden. So we're here for the long haul. So anyways, keep them entertained while I color this thing. So.
Oh, keep you entertained. Okay, I've got a joke. So
No, save it.
Oh, have I got to save my joke? How do you want me to entertain the people? Let me tell you about Sully. Let me tell you about my little turkey butt. Okay, we've had snow here in Memphis. Don't know whether you've had snow in your area, but my dog is an English cream, so he's very pale. And we had about 6 to 8 inches, and it fell deeper in certain parts of my yard. Sully spent most of the day Friday outside in the snow.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Had a good time.
Oh my gosh. I kept saying to him, you are not a Great Pyrenees. You are a retriever.
Right.
You are not to be out there for endless amounts of time. Loved it.
Don't care.
Biting snow, rolling in snow, you name it, that puppy did it. It was the cleanest he's looked in months.
Yeah.
No dirty paws or anything. And every time I let him back in, because I'm like, short periods of time, let him back in, he would cry to go out and talk to me. Please let me go back outside. Well, anyway, so I let him outside this one time, went to shout him, couldn't see him anywhere. I was like, he can't have got out.
Yeah.
No, the little turkey was laid flat in one of the deepest areas of snow and just blended in. And he didn't move a muscle while I screamed at him like a banshee because I was like, he's not coming. Normally, he acknowledges me and then just continues to ignore me. Okay, but at least I know he's heard me. This time, nothing, not a little. And then I just saw this head. I was like, I'm going to kill him. But yeah, loved it. Loved the snow. But he just blended in with it.
Because he didn't get it. We didn't get a snow really last year after you got him, right? Or did we? I can't remember.
No,
Not
nothing
really.
to. But
Yeah,
this.
yeah, this is a nice winter
Oh
storm.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That
Anyway,
puppy.
subscriber board. So if
Here
you
we
can
go.
see here, last week we were at 170, and then we jumped up to 172. So thank you to our 2 subscribers.
that.
Yep, we really appreciate it. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah, and then same goes for you. If you're watching the show and you haven't subscribed, if you could hit the subscribe, follow button, whatever it is on the platform, that'd mean the
Yeah.
world to us. Our goal is to get to 200 by the beginning of February. So we'd need to, basically get like 15 a week. So anyways, if you're watching and you have not subscribed, please do. That'd be awesome. We'd really appreciate it. Anyways, and then if you like the show, you get any value out of it, feel free to share it with a friend,
Yeah.
family member, colleague, something like that. Anyways, so that's it. Yeah, well, that's fun with the snow. Mia had a good time in the snow too.
Did she?
Yeah, we actually did not take a snow day. We worked on Friday and Saturday. Not Friday was like no client, so I was like in
Friday was the worst
no,
day
no.
for snow.
Was it? Did it snow?
Yeah, it's
No, Friday. No.
Friday was it fixed?
Friday is whenever I woke up to the snow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't go. I mixed up Thursday and Friday. Anyways, but Thursday night we bought a bunch of rubber flooring to put in at HQ for the training room or whatnot. So, and I got about half of it in on Thursday night. But those mats are terrible. They're 100 pounds. They fold real easy. So they're tough to pick up. They're tough to move. But anyways, we got them all. We got half of them put in on Friday. Or Thursday night. So we came back up here on Friday to finish putting them in, and then like taping them down, cutting them, all that kind of stuff. So we did that, and then yeah. So that was Friday, and then Saturday night
Saturday
we
you
finished
went
up
out
and stuff.
meeting.
Yeah, went on a bunch of walks and stuff though. I think on Friday we still walked like almost 5 miles that day because the gym was closed. So we walked twice instead of went to go to the gym once. So anyways, it was a good day. She had some fun. The Friday night walk, I ended up letting her off the leash while we were walking because there's no real like cars out or anything. We were walking.
Yeah, it was quiet
On the
out
roads,
there.
but yeah, let her off leash and she's running, goofing, having a good time, zooming all around and stuff like that. And it's funny too. Every time I pick up snow to like throw a snowball at her, she'd like run over and like try to bite my arm where I would, like the one that I picked up the snow with, and then I'd throw it on her or whatnot. And she'd run around, get all excited. I'd pick up some more snow. She'd run over to me and like try to get me on the arm or whatnot. She was like, "You're not getting me with a snowball." It was a lot of fun. We had a good
Love
time.
that. Well, I couldn't get off the driveway to even walk Sully.
Yeah,
So we did snowballs.
yeah,
You
it
know,
was fun.
Which was funny because we threw the snowball and of course it disappears, doesn't it?
Right.
Because it's just and he was like looking all over, like,
Yeah.
where the heck did that go? But
Yeah.
we entertained him.
Yeah, we did some fetch too on I think it was Saturday morning, maybe Friday, I can't remember, but we did some fetch on Saturday morning, and the snow had started to melt a little bit by then. But it was funny, if I threw it like sidearm, like, and it rolled on the snow, she'd like be able to run and find it. But if I threw it at all in the air, it would like plop and go
in
like
it.
3 or 4
Yeah.
inches into the snow or whatnot. So then, and there's no odor really coming out of that hole, so it'd take her forever to find it. So she had a lot of fun, digging in the snow. It's funny too, because every time she finds it though, she'll start like digging at it, and then she'll pick it up, and then she'll like shake it off and get all the snow off of it and stuff like that. She's fun. She's a good girl.
That's too flipping cute, Mia.
Yeah. She's looking at me like, "You talking about me right now?"
Like, what are you saying?
Anyways,
Good girl.
but yeah, no, we had a ton of fun.
Yeah,
so.
we had fun too.
Yep, and was still productive. So good day.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyways, I guess with all that being said, let's jump in and do some questions.
Absolutely. Okay. I love this first question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we're always talking about training and commands and all the
Yeah.
other thing. This person wanted to know, how do I teach my dog to do the rollover trick?
Roll over. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, it is always funny because I do say whenever I meet dogs for the first time, a lot of times like at transformation sessions and stuff, and I'll ask them like, "Hey, does your dog know anything?" It's always sit and shake, and it's funny because you can tell that they've taught their dog to shake, at least the one party trick, because the dog will just swat at you with their paw to like get stuff from you or whatnot, and you're like, "Stop swatting at me," and so you can tell that most people, and that one's really easy. You just grab the dog's paw and trade it for a treat, and then finally
Yeah.
you just put your hand out and see if they put their paw on it, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, roll over. I mean, I'd say it's fairly simple too. I would definitely say watch some like YouTube videos on it, because you'll have like a visual
Then you get a
demonstration
visual.
or whatnot. But okay, yeah. So you'll have like a visual demonstration of it or whatnot, which is
Yeah.
cool. However, what I would typically do is I'd start by the dog needs to be able to like lay down first and foremost.
Yeah.
So that's number
Yeah.
one. Then what I'll do is like once I've got the dog laying down, I'll put the treat like in their nose. I'll go down to the ground, and then I'll just start moving it either to the right or the left side, whichever side I guess I want the dog
What
to
they're
roll
laying
over on.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
And the goal is just to get them to like tilt their head, you know, to the side like this, like while they're laying down, right? And then the goal is to get them to go from there. And then you start, and it's basically just like baby steps. So like you pay them whenever they put their head down and they start falling it, you know, to the side, you pay them for that, right? And then the next step would then be like getting them to just like lay on their side. So like you get them to like lay down, pull them to the side, and then like you don't pay them for that. You wait for them to like roll all the way over onto their side, like they're asking for a, you know, tummy rub or something, right? That's kind of the next step. So you do that a bunch and get them doing that. And then the next step would then be put the treat in their nose and like fold, like if their head is here, you know, and their nose is facing this way, then you put the treat in their nose and you'd go over like this and you'd see if they'd follow it with their head. And normally wherever the head goes, the body follows. So if they start twisting their head like this, their body will follow and they'll roll over. And then you pay them for that, right? So then you start chaining all the steps together. So down, move them over, and then they're going to be laying on their side for a little bit. And then you're going to start, you know, rolling it over like that. They'll roll over. And then, you know, pay them for that, of course, right? And so then that's kind of the goal. And so you'll start, and then once they're doing it pretty consistently, you'll start chaining them all together. So be down and then like this, and then ideally they'll just go straight over to their side, right? And then at that point, you could start like pairing a command with it. So like roll over or roll or whatever command you want to use or whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Wow.
It's funny because when I first taught Mia this, you know, it was pretty easy. She'd get stuff pretty quick. But whenever she had it down pat, you know, I'd make her roll over before I'd throw the tennis ball for her. And so she'd roll over like literally as fast as she could. And I have videos of her when she was much younger. And she'd basically like do like almost like a flip in the air to like jump from side to side almost to like roll over as fast as she possibly could so she could go get the tennis ball. So yeah, it's a fun command. It's a cool thing to teach your dog for sure.
Yeah. There we go. Hope that helps.
I'll say this in the meantime too. If you're going to teach your dog to play dead, a good interim step would be do play dead before rollover, because then you've got to get them to like stay on their side for play dead or whatnot, right? So, yeah, so I would say do that one before you do rollover. Yeah, which play dead's pretty fun too, because Mia's really got like a really dramatic one. Because I'll go bang, and then she'll like lay down, and then she'll kind of like slowly start falling to the side, you know, and she'll lay down on her side or whatnot, and then she'll lay down on her side, and then her word to get up, and I can go, and then like what I did was I would tell her to stay, and so now I can put my foot on her and like start shaking her and be like, hey, you alive down there? And I can talk to her and stuff, and then whenever I go, you're alive, she jumps up real fast and she's like, wow, this is so fun, this is great, you know. So anyways, that's a few tricks though.
She's too funny.
I have a funny story about play dead. You want to hear it?
Yeah, tell us a funny story about play dead.
All right, so every now and then, we didn't go last year, but normally like once a year we'll go up to this elementary school here. We've done a few different elementary schools, but we normally go up to this one consistently. But one time I went to one of our employees now, she used to be a teacher at like a kind of, I guess you'd say like underprivileged school here in Memphis or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And so she brought me in to talk to her class specifically. And so they combined like a couple classes or whatnot because they knew I was coming. So I'm at this school. We're outside. This was like during COVID kind of time too, or whatnot. Like, you know, kids were back in school physically, but it's still like during that kind of era or whatnot. Anyways, so we're outside, and I've got Mia doing all of her tricks, and I'm talking to them about like dog safety and like, you know, in this part of town too, like dogs just kind of run loose. So like what to do if you see a dog, like, you know, things like that. And so I'm kind of doing like an educational bit, but I'm also doing, and then at the end, I normally do all of her tricks and stuff. So I'll show off all of her commands and all of her tricks and everything. Anyways, so her command for bang is like, or play dead is I'll make a pistol gun like this and I'll go bang. And I was like, you want to see her play dead? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, everybody make a gun with your hands. And I was like, pointed at Mia, and on 3, 2, 1, we'll all go bang. And so anyway, so we did it. And the dog played dead. She did really good. But then afterwards, they're all making finger guns going bang, bang. And I'm like, okay, I might have done something a little bad here. So I felt kind of bad. So I was like, moving forward, if I demonstrate, I will be the one doing the pistol gun and going bang. But I'm like, you know, that's probably not a good thing to teach kids at all. And I did it the first year too. Funny enough, I did it the first year that I went to this one middle school here in Memphis, or elementary school here in Memphis, and we all did that too. And I didn't really think anything of it. And then but I guess none of them just kept going bang, bang. But then at this one school, they all kept going bang, bang. And I was like, oh, okay, I should probably do something a little different here. So
too enthusiastic.
Yeah, a little too enthusiastic about it. So I was like, all right, next time I do it. But it's always funny too, though, because like going to schools and stuff like that, first time we ever did in elementary school, it was fun. I think, golly, it might have been 2018, 2019. I can't remember. That was the first year that we did it though. And I was I don't know if I was still a solo trainer, if we had employees at that point or what, but I was there all by myself the whole day. And I probably talked to 20 classes or whatnot, right? So I'm literally there all day. I had never talked that much in my entire life, so my voice is hurting. I'm like super thirsty, and like I had water. They were really nice. They were bringing water and stuff, but like keeping your voice like I guess liquid. I don't know how to say it. Like keeping your vocal cords like wet and like lubed up where you can actually talk and stuff. You know, I never talked that much, and so my voice hurt. And poor Mia, by like the 20th class, she's like, I'm
done
not
with
sitting
this.
and rolling over for nothing. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to hear you give me stupid tricks again. I'm not playing dead anymore. I'm not doing none of it. She did it, but she was the first class, she's like, wow, let's perform,
Yes,
you know. But then the
By end,
20th class, she's like,
not again.
Just like angry that she has to like, do all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So I moving forward might kind of change strategies a little bit. Get out of there. Go on. Get out of there. Go.
I remember you being at the Children's Museum
Oh, that was amazing.
and did all of her tricks. And she's so impressive.
Yeah. I don't really know. It's like there's something about like whenever there's like, I don't know, like a lot on the line like that, because with that one, like we were in front of like hundreds of kids and hundreds of families or whatnot, and I don't know. And I went up there, I was like, you ready to go to work, old girl? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And like, I mean, just showed out. She showed out, and that was so fun. We ended up getting a bunch of clients from that too, because like she did such a good job,
We did.
Yeah, so that was cool. But anyways, that's kind of rambling,
Love
but
it.
that was a bunch on tricks. So some funny stories to pair with it.
Well, it's just another bond with your dog, isn't it? You know, as well as doing the commands, which are incredibly important, but you can use all of that to do some fun stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, do you want number 2 question?
Let's do. You had a funny joke. I was going to save the joke in between question 1 and question 2. So hit us with a joke.
Okay. I love this joke.
Hit
Are you
it.
ready? Okay. What do you call a zoo that's only got one dog?
I don't know. What do you call it?
A Shih Tzu.
Okay, that one actually is pretty funny. That was good.
I love that one.
Yeah,
That made me
good.
chuckle when I read
Who
it.
named that breed? Like, how did that breed get its name? It's actually, for those of you that don't know, it's actually SHIH dash TZU. I think it's a dash. I think there's a dash there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, or it's just space and then TZU or whatnot.
Yeah.
But the sh is the SHIH is pronounced sh and then zoo. Yeah. And so Shih Tzu. Anyways, but it's a funny.
It works as a joke.
Yeah. I think it's actually Shih Tzu, but it might be Shih Tzu. I don't know. I've always heard them pronounce it Shih Tzus, but
I always thought it was
Yeah.
Shih Tzu, and I thought that was an odd name for a dog in the first place. Whoever came up with that.
It is a
one.
funny name though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does make good for some good jokes too.
Yeah. The other one. I'm going off again on tangents.
What do you, here real quick, I just made one up. What do you call a dog that's little and poops in the house a bunch? A Shih Tzu.
Gosh. Boom. Don't give up your day job.
All right. Easy, killer. You got some pretty bad jokes too, by the way.
I have some really. So, the other one, before I give you the second question, is I never understand. Oh, I can't even pronounce it correctly now because I want to say Chihuahua.
Oh, Chihuahua?
Yeah.
That is really.
How did they get Chihuahua from Chihuahua?
Yeah, I don't know. But you pronouncing it Chihuahua is funny too.
That's how I know how to spell it when I have to fill in the form.
Yeah.
Chihuahua.
Yeah,
But
no, that's
anyway,
good.
That's crazy.
That's
isn't
good.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if I could spell. I mean, I think I could. I think I could spell it. I don't know if I could though.
What? Chihuahua?
Yeah. I think it's. I don't want to try it.
Go on, do it. It's spelled Chihuahua.
I've got. It'd be easier for me to write it than say it. I've got
Okay.
CHIHUAHA. I think that's it.
You've missed. I think you've missed a.
No.
Is it not CHIHUAHUA?
I might have missed that last. Yeah.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I did miss last.
Yeah, I
year.
think you
Anyways,
missed a UM. But yeah, that's a good one. We ought to do.
Fortunately, I
something.
never have to write this on paper. I've always got my phone or my computer in front of me, and if I misspell it, it'll correct it for me.
You just correct it. But yeah, I've learned how to spell some crazy things on since working here.
I'm trying to think of some other breeds with like crazy names. No, can't think of any.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. How
Yeah. I mean, there
crazy dog.
are some
breed.
words that are just like tough to spell. Entrepreneur. I can spell that one, but that one's like a tough one. You know,
Yeah.
It took me a few years.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway, we digress. Again.
real quick, I just wanted to say, if you're watching and you're watched this far, if you're listening on an audio platform, so like Apple or Spotify or Amazon Alexa or whatever it is, if you could take 2 seconds and just pull up our actual show on that platform and then hit the review button and leave us a 5-star review, that would be amazing. That'd really help boost us up in the algorithm on the listening or audio platforms or whatnot. So if you could, and if you're watching on video, if you could subscribe or follow, that'd be amazing. But if you could take a second to leave us a review, that'd be awesome. Anyways, if you're having fun with the show, getting value out of it, please feel free to leave us a review. Like I said, 5 stars would be amazing. That'd really help boost us up in the algorithm. That'd be amazing. So anyways, thank you for that. And back to the show.
Back to the show.
Question 2.
Question 2. Okay, this is about training equipment. So this person has been recommended to use a martingale collar and leash because the dog pulls.
Right.
Why would they want to use that rather than a prong collar, which is what we use as a walking collar?
Yeah, we use a prong collar with a lot of dogs. We don't use it with every dog as a rule, though. Just for the record.
Yeah.
But martingale, it'd be easier to have something to like visually demonstrate this. But if I have like 2 scales here, right? I've got like 2 scales. I've got like on this side, let's call it effectiveness, and on this side, I've got like style of collar, right?
Yes.
So the higher you go up on this one, the collar side, the lower that you're like not effectiveness, sorry, effort rather. The lower your effort will be. So like if we're like at the top of effort and the bottom of equipment, it'd be like harness basically. It'd be like a harness down at the bottom.
The normal
if you're walking your dog
harness.
if you're walking your dog on a harness, your effort is gonna have to be max, right? Because the dog should be pulling on you the whole time.
Yeah.
From there, you'd probably jump up to maybe like a flat collar and your effort level would go down a little bit too, right? And then you jump up to like a martingale, your effort would jump down a little bit. So it's still gonna be skewed. And then I'll just keep going, and then we'll jump into like the differences. But then maybe like a Star Mark, like good dog collar, right? That's gonna knock your effort down some too. That's like a plastic prong collar. Maybe a slip lead thrown somewhere in there, like maybe a slip lead over like a martingale that would like drop your effort down, and then you've got like a Star Mark that would drop your effort down. Then you got like a prong collar, right? Then that would drop your effort down even more.
Where would you put in that scale for the easy leader that goes on the nose?
Yeah.
Or
Funny
gentle
enough, I think
leader.
they're called gentle leaders
Gentle
or like a head
leader.
halter or something like that.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I've only used one in my entire career. I will say it worked really well for the old lady that I was working for. It worked really well for her.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of experience with them, so that's why it's like not even on my radar. Why I didn't mention it. I'd probably put it somewhere on like the middle of the spectrum though. So maybe like a little lower than middle or maybe a little higher than middle or something like that. It worked really well for that one lady.
Yeah.
It's just weird because like the dog's like walking at like a funny angle, you know, because you're pulling on their face the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Or like if they're pulling, you're pulling on their face. It does make them walk slower. Really great for it. Like I said, like this older lady I was working for made her dog slow down, pay more attention to where she was at, things like that.
Yeah.
But I would say on like in my toolbox that I use regularly, it's not super high up there.
Okay.
But there's a lot of trainers that get a lot of great success with them. So I'm not just rolling them out. I'm just saying it's not been something I've had a ton of experience with personally. Now, in terms of using a martingale is going to be more effective than a harness. It's going to be more effective than a flat collar. It's going to be less effective than probably like a slip leash or something like that. But it'd probably be in the middle somewhere there, which would make your effort like still have to be fairly high, but like not super, super high.
Okay.
Martingale is basically a flat collar that constricts when the dog pulls on it, basically. So it's going to kind of take away like airflow a little bit as the dog kind of pulls because it's, you know, collar, and then up here you've got like a little triangle, and as the dog pulls, this triangle constricts and the collar constricts around the dog's neck. So it basically just adds pressure if the dog pulls on the leash. So you can use it to kind of correct your dog similar to how you would with like a slip or a flat or a slip or a prong collar or an easy collar or good dog collar by like Star Mark or something, one of those plastic prong collars. You'd correct your dog in a similar way. I'd say this would be good for dogs that are like a little more sensitive to like collar pressure or something like that. So if they're pretty like sensitive, they're maybe not like a super hard puller and you don't need a tool like a prong collar or something like that. You're just completely aversive to those, but you want some sort of like negative effect for the dog pulling or whatnot. I'd say it'd be decent in like those like contexts there basically or whatnot. Yeah, I'd probably say it'd be like good for something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not terrible. They're also make like a decent, just like regular like flat collar for your dog to wear around the house all the time too. You know, like they make a pretty good
Okay.
Somewhere on that list too, I put like choke chain. There'd be like a choke chain on there or something like
Okay,
that too.
yeah.
That I didn't mention. I have it like written out somewhere. I just don't have like the visual in front of me. But like there's a choke chain on there too. That one I would say was really effective, but also your effort has to be a little higher because like those require a lot of finesse. Like you have to like really know how to like handle a leash really well. In my experience, to like use a choke chain like effectively and properly and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But for just like the untrained person, like a client or something like that that doesn't know a lot, it's gonna be easier to like go up higher on the scale of like collar effectiveness and like lower their effort or whatnot,
Yeah.
you know? Because
Yeah.
like I could probably walk like a really hard pulling dog on like a harness or something like that, but I've also been handling a leash for, you know,
Yeah.
9+ years now,
Yeah.
you know? And so I could probably walk like a dog on a harness or a flat
Dude,
collar
you
or
don't
something.
even have to touch my dog for it to walk better.
That is true. That is
Trainer
true.
man.
Yeah, I literally just walk next
You
to him.
just
He's
walk next
trotting
to him
like a-
and he's like, oh.
trotting like a Clydesdale. Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is how
Speaking
I
of
walk.
Clydesdales, did you know they were in town this past week?
I did. They were
Yeah.
outside Krogan. You
I
could,
wonder why they were doing that.
I don't know.
So random, but cool, but random.
It is cool. Yeah. I know people that went and had their photograph taken.
I mean, it's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
they're so
Speaking of horses,
huge.
I just saw this really funny video on the internet this weekend, but in England, I guess, where they have like the crazy dressed looking like soldier people or whatnot, you know, there are these horses.
Crazy dressed soldier people.
Yes. What are they called?
That's the King's Guard.
The King's Guard.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Crazy dressed people.
They do look a little funny. I mean, the big ass hats and stuff. Like
Yeah,
they've got
with the
big
tassels and
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think this was England. I mean, it looked.
They are
England.
on station.
Some of them are on horses,
They
right?
are.
And they bite people.
They buy a lot.
Yeah, they bite people. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's this person standing, like he's on a horse in a doorway, right?
That's correct.
Do you know where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What's it called? Where are they at?
They're outside. It's right near the Houses of Parliament
Okay.
and 10 Downing Street and all
Yeah,
around
yeah.
there.
So
yeah, they're
it's this guy on a
it's-
horse, and he's got a funny hat on, right? And it's like going like this, like right in front of his.
It comes down
eyeballs.
to a peak.
Yeah,
And it's metal
right,
and it's got a
it's
plume.
eyeballs. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
anyways funny.
King's Guard.
Yeah, funny guard. Anyways, sorry, not trying to be disrespectful. Just a joke. This is a joke. Anyways,
They
so-
are actually working service people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're not just there as ornaments.
Yeah,
but
no, I get it. And
Yeah.
so, anyways, but he's in this doorway, and there's
Uh-huh.
signs next to it that like you can kind of see if you're looking for him in the video. But it's like, don't go up to horses; they bite. And so there's all these people that are walking up next to the horses, and it's just videos of these people getting their shoulders
know,
bit, and
and
like
they
they're
get
getting
hold of-
pulled by the horse and stuff like that, you know. And the guy's just sitting there because he's like. It says on the sign, don't approach the horses.
Yeah.
But then it's really sweet because like some people will walk up like disabled people like in a wheelchair or whatnot, and the horse will put his head down and like
I
nudge them and stuff like that.
know.
Or like there's some like disabled kids, like one kid looked like he had like
they
Down
just-
syndrome or something.
They just know.
And it was like so sweet to watch him like bite
Yeah.
these idiots that are tourists like
Yeah.
next to this like horse that clearly bites people. It says it on the sign, like right there, don't go up to horses.
Yeah.
And he's biting their shoulders and,
and they
stuff.
also go up and they get hold of the reins. Have you seen?
Oh, that would be so dumb.
And
That'd be
the-
so dumb.
And the army person, the
King's
soldier,
Guard.
the King's Guard, shout at them
Yeah.
in a very authoritative. They're like, "Let go of the reins."
Yeah.
And some people are just like oblivious. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like probably like people out in public with like service
because they
dogs
don't
being like,
realize that once they're holding those reins, which of course that's how they
Controls the
control the
horse,
horse.
right.
It's putting pressure on the horse's mouth.
Yeah. You used to ride horses back in the day, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yep. You
Yeah.
use an English shuttle.
I did use English saddle. It's a lot different
It
to
is very different.
a
American.
cowboy saddle.
An American saddle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought that was funny. We were talking about horses. How did we get to talking about horses? I forget.
I don't know how we went on that
That's a
tangent.
dog training podcast talking about horses and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Too fun.
Oh, we were talking about the collars. How did that lead to horses,
How
though?
did that lead to you with the King's Guard?
I don't know. Well, we were talking about the Clydesdales.
That's how we got there. Oh my God. Oh, we're so bad today, aren't we?
How did we talk about the Clydesdales?
We talked about the Clydesdales
yeah.
and Big Gentle Giants, and then you got onto the,
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
seen
yeah.
a video of the
Yeah,
King's
yeah.
Guard with these crazy tourists.
Yeah. Man, I
Yeah.
can't wait to have a horse one day. Want to have a property. I want a horse.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, just getting on horses,
Horses and dogs.
trotting around and stuff. Because apparently, like, you can really build a connection with a horse the same way you can with like a dog.
You can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember in Yellowstone, spoiler alert, potentially if you haven't watched it, but John Dutton's horse, somebody else is riding it, and John Dutton's the guy that owns the ranch, and somebody else is riding it, and the horse steps in a hole and it like snaps its leg or whatnot, and they have to shoot the horse, and he goes and he does it himself, and he's like, it might have been Rip that did it, I can't remember, but the quote was, "I'd rather kill 1,000 men than one good horse," and I was like, man, that's something.
I've been there too. It's sad, but yeah, the rapport with a horse is the same with a dog.
Yeah. Anyways,
Love it.
okay.
Well, shall we get back to the question?
We had a news segment, but I don't know if we should do it now that we've just been chatting about silly stuff. But
well, let's do this last question, and if we've got time, maybe we can do that.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so this is really interesting.
All right.
I thought it was interesting enough to go, I'm going to ask Corey about this. So this person has been told that their dog should respect her.
Okay.
But the question is, what does that really mean? Because I've heard it about saying, the dogs need to show some respect and blah, blah. But is there a simple way of explaining what that means?
Yeah. I think if you ask 10 different trainers, you'll get 10 different answers to this question. So I will give you
your
my off the cuff answer to this question. And if I sat there and thought about it, I'd probably maybe come up with a different answer that I'm about to give. But I do agree with the general statement that your dog should respect you, right?
Yeah.
But that looks different for different people, right? And it looks different depending on like what you want your dog to do, what you want your dog to know, what rules and boundaries you have set for your dog, what structure you've implemented for your dog. So it's going to look different for everybody.
Gotcha.
Generally speaking, though, I would say respect would be like listening to the commands, rules, boundaries, structure, things like that you have set in place for your dog. I would say generally speaking, that would be like what would be respectful, right?
Okay.
And respect looks different to different people, right? And like if you take this to like parenting or whatnot, like some kids talk to their parents in one way, and then like another parent would like pop their kid in the face for talking that way, right? And it's just about like how, like what are you willing to tolerate, I guess, right?
Okay.
And so for me, when I think of respect, like I would think of like, I guess, because it could also be too that like, like Mia, for example, doesn't jump when I walk in. But sometimes I want her to jump up on me. And so I'll tell her that, right? And so like that's like, hey, you're allowed to do that. There's no problem with Mia being on the furniture. She's on the furniture right now. She's across from us on the couch right now, right?
Yeah.
So like there's no problem with that for me either, right? But some families might say no to that. And that might be a big problem for them, that the dog would be on the couch and, shedding on the couch or jumping on him or whatever it is, right? So I'd say overall, respect would be whatever rules and boundaries you have set in place for your dog, they follow those things for the most part, right? Dogs are dogs. So like even if you have like a really good rule or boundary, they might still like do it. Like growing up, we had a family dog named Chase. He was the best border collie ever. And like he wasn't allowed on the furniture, but overnight he'd get on the couch whenever we were all asleep. And then as soon as we'd walk down, stairs in the morning and turn the corner, he's like sliding off the couch and be like, my bad, sorry, more comfortable than the floor, right? Or the dog bed, and so like dogs will be dogs, but I'd say generally speaking, they listen to like whatever rules and boundaries you have set in place. And like, if you have expectations for commands, they'd listen to you, I'd say within the first or second time you give them. That would be my general definition of respect. Now, what does it look like to people? Could be, because some people just don't care. Some people don't care if their dogs are wild, right? And so like respect is not a problem for them. Now, there are certain things that some trainers say that like maybe like a more like old school, like kind of dominant style trainer or whatnot that would say certain things that I'm just like, man, I just don't agree with that. Like for example, like a lot of like old school trainers will say like you got to walk out the door before your dog, right? And it's like, okay, that might not necessarily just be a bad rule of thumb, like that you walk out the door before your dog. I definitely think your dog should wait at the door, especially with exterior doors that like lead to the open world, especially if they're not off leash trained. I definitely think they should wait and have like a door command. But the fact that you need to walk out in front of them to show that you're the big ball, I just don't know if that's the truth, right? Like Mia, I will sometimes go through the door before me, but like she 100% knows at the end of the day I'm running the show, right? Or your dog can't be on furniture, right? That's like another one. Or they can't sleep with you or something like that. Nate Bargatze, he just put out a comedy special on Netflix. It's pretty funny, and I'd recommend it. But he has a joke in there, and I actually have it saved for whenever we do finally start doing videos on the podcast. But he's like, and I'm gonna probably butcher it, but he's like, the joke is, somebody told me that I need to be more dominant over my dog and they can't sleep in the bed. And he's like, and I look at the guy and I was like, it's a golden doodle. Like, I don't have to be dominant over my golden doodle to like get my dog to listen to me. Like, he's like, yeah, he can sleep in the bed. He's a part of the family. He's like, he can sleep in the bed with us. He's like, it's a golden doodle. I don't need to be dominant over the golden doodle, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like stuff like that, like the fact that your dog can never sleep with you. Now, there are certain things, so it's like, well, okay, you might not want your dog, like might not care if your dog's on the furniture, but there are like limits to it, right? Where you're like, okay, I don't want them, like if I've got friends and family over, I don't want them jumping on people the same way they would jump on me on the couch or something like that, right? So there's like different like nuances to it as well. So overall, my simple definition though would be the dog respects like what you say, the rules, boundaries, manners, things like that you have set in place, and they do those things the majority of the time. Like I said, dogs are going to slip up. They're dogs, they're not, we don't want robots, right? And if you do want a robot, train for that. But, we want our dogs to have a little personality to them. So they might, be a little naughty every now and then, but it's funny. It's like Sully grabbing a remote and make you chase him for it. It's like, we could fix that.
We could.
But I think you kind of like it a little bit too, because it keeps you entertained, right? It's like, maybe not the remote, but you've given me examples of him being naughty before where it's like, it's naughty, but it's funny, and you like it a little bit.
He did it this morning when he took one of my gloves.
Yeah.
And then he goes under the coffee table because he knows Mum, who's in a blooming wheelchair, can't get to him under said coffee table. And he looks at me with the glove hanging out of his mouth. And it's funny, but it's not funny.
But it is funny.
But it is funny because he looks so cute.
I would start revving that damn coffee table with my toes back and forth.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, that would be my simple, I guess, kind of definition for it.
I think that's a great answer.
Yeah. So whatever that looks like to you. If you want your dog to come every time that you tell him to come, then all right.
Yeah.
Slap a remote collar on him and let's start teaching him to recall, and start teaching him like manners like that, right?
Yeah.
If you want him to walk well, if you don't care if your dog pulls, let him pull. If you want him to walk well, like I said, it's all going to be personal preference as to what you decide that like you are okay with, and that looks different for different families, and that's cool.
I think that's great.
Because if it was up to me, I'd make every dog be a wonder dog, right? But I can't do that, So it's up to the families that.
Well, we have them. They're all wonder dogs in our eyes, but there are different levels of wonder dogs.
But then there are certified wonder dogs.
Yes.
With a diploma to prove it. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, that'd be my answer.
Sully's not got there, by the way.
Yeah. He's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Oh, that baby. I love
No
him.
boots, though, recently, right? No boots. You should, I don't know what episode it is, so I'll tell you to go watch it, but she's, she's got a handful of favorite pairs of shoes, and he got one of her favorite pairs of boots. I think you're still wearing it. It was wearable, wasn't it?
I've got them on now. Unfortunately, nobody can see them, but they're so good for me to just slip on and off on my crazy feet.
Yeah.
But that dog,
that damn dog will be the death of me.
damn dog, and he knows he can't have them. And I know I've got to take some responsibility because I put them in a place that he can get them.
Yeah.
But when he comes toddling out that bedroom, really proud of himself, like,
yeah,
look, I got your boot again.
Hey, did you need this?
I'm like, you little turkey.
Maybe that's him being a service dog. Maybe he's trying to help you and show you.
That's right.
Boot.
He's offering me a service.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I know you're planning on leaving soon. Here's a boot for you.
Here's a boot. And that glove that you wanted, that you use when you take me for a walk, put it on. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I think, it definitely makes, I'd say just having a dog overall, like naughty or not, makes life a lot more colorful, Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah. That dog gives me a purpose.
Yeah. Golly. It makes me think about how bad Mia used to be, though. She used to be so bad.
I can't wait until he grows out of some of this crazy stuff that he does.
I hope he doesn't, because it's fun for me.
Good. I'm glad
That's why I'm delaying his training, because it's fun to hear the stories. You
that-
have
is that
something.
why?
You have something new to report every week
that
on Sully's bad news, bad boy news.
So I took him.
It'd be funny if we did like a whole have like a special segment called like where we could like hit like something on the soundboard and it goes breaking bad boy news. Sully has destroyed another boot. Sally Harrison of Cordova, Tennessee, has lost another boot to her English cream.
Yeah. Or we'll do a. Can you recognize this sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sully on a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dog.
Well, soon enough, we'll have Fit Doggy Daycare, and you can just pick them up exhausted at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, we'll wrap up. I don't think we
Yeah.
need to do the news segment. It was a really cool news story though about a guy finding his dog after like 5 nights in the fire or whatnot. You know, as we're recording, the LA fires are still
California's
happening or whatnot. So,
struggling. I know
Yeah.
that people are struggling all over, but I know a lot of families have not been able to get back to their homes.
a lot of them are just gone.
And well, yeah, but I'm meaning they get told that the fire's encroaching on their area and they're somewhere else and they can't get back to their animals.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
I
that
can't
sounds
imagine it.
terrible. Yeah, I mean, I've just seen some like devastating videos. There was one that I saw with like 2 guys in a house and a dog or whatnot, and it's like a glass. It's literally quite like the back of the house looked like it was like completely a glass house, and there's just walls of fire just all around him or whatnot. And he's like looking down at his dog with the camera, like petting him. He's like, "It's gonna be okay, buddy. It's gonna be okay." I'm just like, man. If they, I don't know much about the news or whatnot, but I'm like, man, if they give you an evacuation warning, like you should have gotten out of there. Dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah, you don't wait.
but at the same time, our hearts and prayers go out to
go
those
out to
folks
them.
because it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
rough. It's rough. I mean, I think when I saw something, it was like over $50 billion worth of damage, you know, to people's homes, properties, and stuff like that. So, absolutely terrible. So, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families, all the animals lost, all that
the
kind of stuff. So,
animals. Yeah, tragic.
but anyways, this one guy did find his dog after
Yes,
5 nights in the fire. So his name is
Yeah.
Oreo. I don't know what kind of dog he was. We didn't read too much into it, but that was going to be the news story we read. But his name's
wasn't
Oreo.
Oreo a little pit bull?
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't
don't
see
know.
that. I didn't see that detail. But anyways, he got his dog back after 5 nights in the fire. He found his dog, and he was just so happy. He's like, apparently in the story that I read, he was giving everybody hugs and praising Jesus and stuff because he found his dog and everything. So that's a cool story.
Yeah.
Despite all
Miracle.
the tragedy, a
Yeah.
miracle for sure. So.
Bless.
Yeah. Anyways, well, all that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had a ton of fun recording this for you guys
Yeah.
today. If y'all have any questions, feel free to comment them below, send them to me, send them to Sally. All that
Yep.
stuff will be below as well. If you got any value out of it, feel free to share it with a friend, family member, colleague. And like I said, if you guys don't mind, just hit the subscribe, like, follow button. That would really help boost us up in the algorithm, get us more views. And our goal, once again, is really just to get this information out to people and help people at no cost for their dogs, and maybe provide some slight entertainment as well. Because I had fun today, so hopefully people have fun listening. So anyways, that being said, guys, thank you so much, and we will see y'all in the next
Next time.
episode. Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.